Your mind is a brilliant seducer, and its first victim is you. It whispers stories in your ear that you so desperately want to believe. That her coldness is just mystery, that her moods are just a game, that the raw, inexplicable fire another woman ignites in you is merely lust that will pass. Your mind is a brilliant lawyer for your fear. It can justify any self-deception just to avoid facing a terrifying, primal truth. But while it weaves its web of logic and social norms, your body remains silent. It doesn't argue. It simply knows. It is the silent judge of your truth. In its silence lie millions of years of evolution. It remembers scents, vibrations. It reads another person's chemical signature long before your brain can even form a sentence. Your body is the only lie detector that cannot be fooled. And today, we're going to hack its code. We will gain access to the 7 secret files of your primal core. 7 signals the body sends when it recognizes its woman. This isn't romantic nonsense. This is pure biochemistry, the physics of resonance, and the deep psychology that Freud and Jung could only attempt to describe with words like libido and archetypes. 7 markers that send the goosebumps of truth crawling up your skin. If you recognize at least 5 of these in yourself, you have found the woman next to whom your masculine essence will not fade, but ignite. If you don't, you are living in a beautiful illusion that is slowly but surely castrating your life force. But I must warn you, I've saved the most intimate and powerful signals for the end. If you leave halfway through, you risk mistaking static for the signal and making the same mistake all over again. So before we begin, I ask you to like this video. This is our silent pact of trust. And if you're new here and you're not afraid of the truth, subscribe, because we don't skim the surface here. One last thing before we dive in. Please write what city you're from in the comments. It's important for me to feel the geography of our men's circle. Part 1. The exhale effect signal. The first, most honest signal isn't a rush to the groin, not the cheap dopamine of the chase, and not the convulsive tension of a male on the hunt, which is so easily mistaken for passion. No, the first signal is silence. It's the barely audible sound your body makes when it takes off its armor. It is a deep, gut-level sigh of relief. To understand its value, you first need to realize the state you constantly live in. That state is war. A low-intensity background war, but a war nonetheless. Your nervous system defaults to the sympathetic mode, the fight or flight response. This is an inheritance from our ancestors who had to survive in the wild. Today, there are no saber-toothed tigers, but there are deadlines, traffic jams, bosses, and most importantly, social interactions. Especially with women you are interested in. Around them, you are armored. You are on stage. Your jaw is slightly clenched. Your shoulders are tense. A cocktail of adrenaline and cortisol flows through your blood. Every cell in your body is on high alert. You have to be witty, strong, successful. You scan her reactions, choose your words, control your gestures. Your brain works like an overloaded processor, analyzing thousands of microsignals per second. It's exhausting. Even after the best, most vibrant and passionate date, you come home completely drained because you weren't yourself, you were performing. You were putting on a show. You spent a colossal amount of psychic energy maintaining an image that you think she is supposed to like. And then she enters your life. And in her presence, an anomaly occurs. At first, you might not even notice it. You're talking, drinking coffee, taking a walk. And suddenly, at some point, you catch yourself letting out a deep, slow exhale that's almost a groan. And along with the air, all the tension you didn't even realize you were holding has left you. Your shoulders drop. Your diaphragm relaxes. The blood in your veins seems to flow slower and thicker. It is the physical sensation that the battle is over. You're home. You're safe. The shield can be lowered. This is the exhale effect. It's not a metaphor. It's pure physiology. Your nervous system has received a silent chemical command, threat neutralized, permission to switch to parasympathetic mode, the rest and digest mode. Your ancient primal core has recognized her vibration, her energy field, as safe as kindred. And at that moment, you stop being a function, a role, a hunter. For the first time in a long time, you become simply a man, at peace, in your power. A relationship with your woman is not an absence of emotion. It's a different type of emotion. It's not about peaks and valleys, but a steady, powerful depth. It's like the ocean. There may be waves on the surface, but in the depths, there is always calm and power. Ask yourself one most important question. When she is near, does your body take off the armor you didn't even know you were wearing? Or does it, on the contrary, grip the hilt of an invisible sword even tighter? This exhale, which the mind might ignore, is the verdict or the blessing issued by your soul. And this is only the first, most obvious signal of the 7. Part 2, the tactile hunger signal. The second signal is more subtle, more intimate, and far deeper than simple desire. It's called tactile hunger. And this isn't the hunger of your groin. It's the hunger of your skin. The world a modern man lives in is a world of visual images and mental constructs. We evaluate a woman with our eyes, her figure, her face, her style. We evaluate her with our mind, her intellect, her status, her sense of humor. But we have almost completely forgotten how to feel her with our skin. Yet, the skin is our largest and most ancient sensory organ. It is the boundary of our world. And this boundary unerringly determines who is one of us and who is another. When you are with a woman you simply like or desire, your touches are functional. They are a tool. You take her hand to show others she is with you. You hug her to initiate intimacy. You kiss her to arouse her. Every touch has a purpose. It is a prelude to something more. And if there is no purpose, the touching usually disappears. You can sit next to each other on a couch, but there will be an invisible gap between your bodies, an energetic void. Tactile hunger is a completely different phenomenon. It's a constant, background, almost unconscious pull to be closer to her. Not to get something, but simply to be. You find yourself wanting to casually touch her arm when you talk, to brush a strand of hair from her face, to place a hand on her knee while you're driving, just to sit side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and feel her warmth. These touches have no sexual subtext. They are an end in themselves. They are your body's way of constantly checking. Are you here? Are you near? And receiving a silent reply, I am here. Everything is okay. This is chemistry of a different order. Sexual desire is driven by dopamine, the hormone of anticipation and reward. It's a bright but short-lived spark. Tactile hunger is governed by oxytocin, the hormone of attachment, trust, and calm. Oxytocin doesn't give you a high. It gives you something far more valuable, a sense of wholeness. When you touch your woman, a microscopic miracle happens in your body. Your cortisol, stress hormone, levels drop and oxytocin levels rise. Your body is literally healed by her touch. The great psychologist Carl Jung spoke of the anima, the unconscious feminine image that lives in every man's soul. It's not a specific woman, but rather an archetypal imprint, an energetic matrix. So, when your body meets a woman whose physical and energetic vibration matches your anima, it recognizes her. And tactile hunger is the body's instinctive desire to reunite with its lost part. You touch her not to take, but to feel whole again. The biggest mistake is to confuse this deep hunger with common lust. With the wrong woman, you can feel a burning passion. Sex with her might be fantastic, but pay attention. Outside the bedroom, you don't touch her. Or your touches feel awkward, artificial. The body doesn't lie. It is willing to engage in sexual contact with her, but it wants nothing to do with her on a more subtle cellular level. It doesn't want to mix with her energy. Ask yourself, do you want her body, or do you want her presence expressed through her body? Do you want to possess her, or do you just want to be near her, feeling her with your skin? If even the most innocent, fleeting touch from her sends a wave of warmth and calm through you, know this: your skin has made its choice. It has found its native element. Part 3. The energy surge signal, the third signal, is one of the most pragmatic and measurable. It concerns a currency more valuable than money or time. It concerns your life force. Interaction between two people is always an energy exchange, and it can follow one of 3 scenarios. The first is neutral. You interact and part ways, each with what you started with. The second, most common, is vampiric. One person, consciously or not, feeds on the other's energy. The third, rarest and most valuable, is synergistic. After the interaction, both feel more fulfilled than before. And it is this third scenario that is an unmistakable marker of your woman. Now, imagine or recall a different situation. You spend a few hours with her. Maybe you didn't even do anything special, just walked or talked in the kitchen. But when you leave her, or she leaves, you suddenly notice that the world has become brighter. New ideas pop into your head. Problems that seemed complex suddenly have simple solutions. You don't want to lie on the couch. You want to act, to work, to create, to make calls, to solve things. You are not tired. You are charged, as if you were plugged into a source of pure energy. This isn't mysticism. It's science. The mirror neuron effect. Empathetic resonance, call it what you will. The essence is the same. When you are in the field of woman, her inner harmony, even if she herself doesn't realize it, fine-tunes your own system. Her calm soothes your anxiety. Her life force feeds yours. This doesn't mean she has to be a cheerful giggler. She can be quiet, thoughtful, even sad. But her fundamental frequency matches yours. And when 2 identical frequencies meet, they don't cancel each other out. They amplify each other, creating resonance. The wrong woman, even the best and kindest one, will always be a foreign element to your system. Your body will spend a huge amount of hidden energy to digest her alien frequency, to adapt to it, to protect itself from it. It's like a program running in the background on your computer, eating up everything seems to be working, but slower, with lags. Next to such a woman, a man gradually dims. His ambitions fade, his grip weakens, the spark in his eyes dies. He is slowly being discharged, without understanding where his strength is going. Freud might have called this the transfer of libido, of life energy. With your woman, your libido is not just directed at her as a sexual object. It circulates between you, growing stronger with each cycle. She doesn't take your energy to solve her problems. Her very presence helps you accumulate your own. She is not a consumer. She is an amplifier. Analyze your life right now. The woman by your side, is she your safe harbor where you repair your ship and prepare for new voyages? Or is she a constant storm that looks beautiful from a distance, but is slowly destroying your mast? After talking with her, is your mind clear or foggy? Do you feel capable of moving mountains or crushed by another trivial problem? The answer to this question is the answer to who she is to you, your source, or your most expensive and beautiful energy leak. Part 4. The mental silence signal, the fourth signal, is the most subtle. It cannot be touched or measured. It can only be felt. And that feeling is silence. The silence in your own head. From childhood, a man is taught to be someone, to be strong, to be smart, to be successful, to be a good son, to be a proper husband. We become covered in social roles and masks, like a ship with barnacles. Carl Jung called this external, social shell the persona. It's the part of us we show the world to be accepted, approved of, and loved. And this persona is an incredibly noisy thing. It's constantly working, constantly analyzing, constantly talking in our heads. When you communicate with most people, and especially with a woman you're attracted to, this inner dialogue reaches its peak. Okay, what did I just say? Was that witty? How am I sitting? Not too relaxed? I need to ask her a smart question. Damn, the pause is too long. I need to say something quick. She smiled. What does that mean? Did she like it, or was that just politeness? This inner commentator never shuts up for a second. He is your eternal censor, director, and prompter all in one. And it is incredibly exhausting. This mental chatter is a sure sign that you don't feel safe. You're afraid that if you stop playing the role, if you show your true self, you will be rejected. Your persona is working at full capacity to protect your vulnerable self. You are not communicating with the woman, you are engaged in complex diplomatic negotiations with her, trying to make the right impression. And then you meet her, and a miracle happens. The noise in your head subsides. The inner commentator simply goes silent. You no longer need to think about what to say next. The words come by themselves. Or they don't, and that's okay. Pauses in conversation are no longer awkward. They become filled with meaning, closeness, understanding. You can just be silent with her, and this silence will be more informative and soulful than hours of chatter with someone else. This state is a marker of absolute, total trust on an unconscious level. Your gut has received the signal. You can be yourself here. You will not be judged here. Your persona is no longer needed, and the mask simply dissolves. For the first time in years, you are not playing the role of a man. You are simply being one, and this brings incredible relief. It's like taking off tight, beautiful, but terribly uncomfortable shoes after a long day. Many men make the mistake of confusing comfort with boredom. If they have nothing to talk about with a woman, if they're not interested, they might write it off as comfortable silence. But that's not it. Boring silence is empty. It's cold. Comfortable silence is full. It has energy. It has presence. These are two very different things. When your woman is next to you, your brain switches from analysis and control mode to being and flow mode. You stop thinking about the past and the future. You are fully present in the moment. This is the state that athletes call the zone and psychologists call flow. Only it's achieved not through effort, but through relaxation in her presence. That's why I've placed this checkpoint here in the middle of our conversation. If what I'm saying resonates with you, if you understand this difference between the deafening noise in your head and a blessed silence, it means you're not just looking for a relationship, but for true depth. And if this is the approach you've been looking for, now is the perfect time to subscribe. Because from here, we're going even deeper. Now ask yourself honestly, does your inner critic fall silent next to her, or does he scream even louder? Does she help you take off the mask, or force you to put on another, more complex one? In her presence, do you become simpler, more understandable to yourself? If yes, you haven't just found a woman. You've found a place where your soul can rest. Part 5. The Pure. Strength signal. The fifth signal concerns the very essence of your masculine nature. Your strength. Your aggression. Your ability to impact the world. And how this strength is transformed when you are with the right or wrong woman. In every man, even the most civilized, lives a beast. This is our primal, instinctive energy. What Jung called the shadow, the sum of our repressed, dark, but incredibly powerful desires and impulses. This energy can be both creative and destructive. It's the energy that builds cities and starts wars. And the woman who is next to a man is the main catalyst that determines which way this river will flow. Next to the wrong woman, your inner strength often manifests in its ugliest forms. Your confidence turns into arrogance, your persistence into crude pressure, your protective aggression into baseless irritability and anger. Why does this happen? Because your gut feels threatened by her. A threat to your status, your freedom, your integrity. Without wanting to, she pushes your most painful buttons, activating your most ancient fears. And your shadow gets out of control, trying to protect you. You become either unreasonably harsh or, conversely, passive and weak-willed, as if she is sucking the very core out of you. You might notice that around her. You're more likely to snap at subordinates, be rude to waiters, drive aggressively. Your strength becomes dirty, toxic. It's not aimed at creation, but at asserting yourself by suppressing others. This is a sure sign that on a deep level, you feel weak and vulnerable in her presence and are trying to compensate with external, showy brutality. With your woman, an alchemical transformation occurs. Your shadow doesn't disappear, it is accepted and integrated, and your strength is purified. It ceases to be reactive and becomes proactive. Your aggression turns not into anger, but into focused determination. Your desire to control becomes the ability to take responsibility. Your harshness becomes an unbending will. You don't become soft or convenient. On the contrary, you become dangerous, but dangerous to problems, to obstacles, to enemies, not to your loved ones. Her presence doesn't inspire you with banal phrases like, believe in yourself. No, her energy creates a field around you in which your best masculine qualities are activated on their own. She doesn't teach you to be strong. Next to her, you simply cannot be weak. This happens at the hormonal level. Her calm, accepting feminine nature lowers your cortisol and raises your testosterone. Not the testosterone responsible for blunt aggression, but the one responsible for the will to win, for healthy ambition, for the ability to build and protect your world. Think about this. Who are you next to her? The best or the worst version of yourself? The people around you, your team, your friends, your children, are they drawn to you after you've spent time with her? Or do they try to keep their distance, sensing your inexplicable nervousness? Does she make you more generous or more petty? Bolder or more anxious? A real woman doesn't mold a man into what she wants. She creates the conditions in which he himself becomes who he was always meant to be. She doesn't polish the diamond. Her very presence creates the kind of pressure that turns the coal inside you into a diamond. If your strength becomes pure, focused, and creative next to her, it's one of the most powerful signals that you have found your queen. Part 6. The scent of home signal. Now we are getting to the signals that your mind doesn't just ignore, but actively mocks. It calls them primitive, animalistic, unimportant. And it does this because it fears them, because it has no arguments against them. The sixth signal is her scent. And I'm not talking about her perfume. I'm talking about her natural, authentic scent. The smell of her skin after a shower. The smell of her hair on the pillow. The subtle, warm aroma of her body when you hug her. In the modern world, we do everything to mask this scent. Deodorants, perfumes, shower gels. We try to deceive nature. But nature cannot be deceived. Your sense of smell is the most ancient and direct channel to your limbic brain, the center of your instincts and emotions. Visual information, auditory. Information, all of it passes through dozens of filters in the cerebral cortex, through the censorship of logic and experience. But scent does not. It hits the subconscious directly, without analysis, without criticism. It simply gives you an instant answer: friend or foe, danger or safety. When you meet a woman, your olfactory system performs a highly complex chemical analysis that you are not even aware of. It reads her pheromones' volatile chemical substances that carry information about her hormonal balance, her health, and most importantly, her genetic code. Specifically about the so-called major histocompatibility complex, MHC. In simple terms, your nose determines how different her immune system is from yours. And the greater the difference, the more attractive and right her scent will be to you. This is an ancient mechanism that drove our ancestors to choose partners capable of producing the healthiest and most viable offspring. But it's not just about offspring. It's about a feeling. The scent of the wrong woman might be pleasant. You might like her perfume. But her natural scent will be either neutral to you or, to be completely honest, even slightly repulsive. You will never admit this even to yourself. But your body will avoid close contact when, for example, she is sweaty. You will unconsciously pull away. The scent of your woman is an anomaly. It's not just pleasant, it's calming. It's soothing. It evokes a deep, almost childlike sense of security in you. It is the very scent of home. When you bury your nose in her hair or neck, the world around you ceases to exist. Your anxiety disappears. Your body receives the most powerful signal of all. You are home. You are safe. You can completely relax here. Her scent is to your nervous system what a lullaby is to an infant. It doesn't arouse, it heals. This is the most animalistic, most undeniable compatibility test. If her natural scent, the scent of her clean skin without a drop of perfume, not only pleases you, but literally intoxicates, calms, and brings a feeling of deep peace, consider that your body has delivered its verdict. It has recognized its own. It has found its home. To ignore this signal is to go against millions of years of evolution. It means choosing a pretty picture while rejecting the very essence, the very chemistry of life. Part 7, the silent desire signal, and finally, the seventh, final, and most potent signal. It's about desire, but not the kind you're thinking of. It is far deeper, more total, and more honest than any erection. Male sexual desire, libido, as Freud called it, is both simple and complex. It can be sparked by a beautiful figure, a bold look, by novelty. A man can desire a woman he doesn't respect. He can desire a woman who destroys him. He can desire a woman simply because he hasn't had sex in a long time. An erection is primarily a physiological reaction, and strangely enough, it often lies. It can be a signal of lust, but not a signal of choosing a life partner. Silent desire is not your body's reaction to a sexual stimulus. It is a constant, background, almost intangible state. It is a pull not towards sex with her, but towards her presence in your world. It is a desire that doesn't depend on your mood, fatigue, or level of arousal. It is a desire that lives in your cells. How do you test this? It's very simple. Imagine you are dead tired after a grueling day at work. You are angry, hungry, you don't even have the strength to talk. All you want is quiet? Now ask yourself, in this state, do you want her to be there? Silently, just to be in the same room. Or would her presence irritate you, seem like another factor draining your already depleted energy? With the wrong woman, you only want to be with her when you have the resources, when you're in a good mood, when you're rested, when you want sex or entertainment. When you are weak, vulnerable, or empty, her presence becomes unbearable. She seems like a source of additional problems, demands, fuss. You want to hide from her, to be alone, to get yourself together. With your woman, it's the complete opposite. It is precisely in your moments of greatest vulnerability that her presence becomes your most valuable medicine. You may not want to talk to her. You may not want sex. You may just want to lie on the couch and stare at the ceiling, but you want her to be there. Her quiet presence doesn't take your energy, it restores it. She is your peace. She is your together aloneness. This is silent desire. It's when your body wants her, even when your groin is silent. It's when you want to sleep, but you want to sleep specifically next to her, because her breathing beside you is the best sleeping pill. It's when you want to eat, but you want to share that food with her, even if you are silent. It's a pull not to possess her body, but to merge with her field. It is a sign that your unconscious has chosen her not as a temporary lover, but as a permanent, fundamental partner, as a part of yourself. If you have this, if your body reaches for her, even in moments of complete powerlessness, know that this is the ultimate prize. This is the connection that people search for their entire lives and only a few find. It is not a passion that burns you out. It is the warmth of a hearth that will warm you for the rest of your days. Conclusion. The compass that's always with you. We've covered the 7 signals. 7 silent messages from the most honest part of you. The sigh of relief. The hunger of your skin. The surge of energy. The silence in your head. Pure strength. The scent of home. And the silent, total desire for her presence. Your mind will argue with every one of these points. It will find excuses. I'm tired because I work a lot, not because of her. I don't need to touch her. I'm just not a tactile person. Her scent? What nonsense. The main thing is that she's a good person. Your mind is a master of self-deception. It will defend its choice to the very end, even if that choice is killing you. But you can't fool the body. It doesn't know how to lie. It either relaxes in her presence, or it tenses up. It either gravitates towards her, or it pushes her away. It either charges up from her, or it discharges. No compromises. No shades of gray dots. Stop listening to friends, your mother, society. Stop listening even to your own mind with its fears and calculations. Start listening to your body. It is the only advisor that will never betray you. Have you ever noticed that with one woman, your body is always on guard, as if in armor, while with another, it feels like it's breathing fully for the first time in years, freely, without strain? There is more truth in that simple feeling than in all the books on relationship psychology. And now, the main question for you. I've told you about 7 signals. Which one resonated with you the most? Perhaps you remembered a specific situation from the past when your body was screaming yes or no to you, but you ignored it. Write your story or just the number of the most important signal for you in the comments. Let's create a true encyclopedia of male intuition under this video.